Well, here we are, just outside of Corona, New Mexico. We're on our way to the 1947 Roswell Crash Site. Well, actually, technically it's not a crash site, okay? It was called the Roswell Incident. Happened, I believe it was July 4th in 1947. When there was a big storm. I don't need to go into the big history of that or anything like that. To tell you, I'll just give you the highlights of it. It was July 4th, I believe, 1947, and there was a big storm. And out on a ranch here outside of Corona, New Mexico, it was called the Foster Ranch. And there was a foreman that worked, his name was Mac Brazel. Okay, so after the big storm went out, the next day, he went out and checked to see if his windmill and everything was okay, and that's when he came across all this debris. So he came across all this debris, and he went and collected some of it, and he went into the town of Roswell, which is a couple hours away from here, but they call it the Roswell Incident because that's where he had to go, because Corona is just a small town, and since the Army and stuff came out from Roswell, it just became known as the Roswell Incident. So he goes there, and he shows them his stuff that, hey, this is what I found. While he's in town and stuff, a whole bunch of Army guys come out to this, and it became called the Corona Debris Field. They came out, Army guys, and they picked the place clean. And if you remember the story, you know, first there was hot air balloons, and then the other story came. First it was UFO when there was bodies, and then it was hot air balloons, and then it was they were testing dummies with parachutes. So it just kind of fizzled away. They said there was aliens and stuff, and of course everybody trusted the government, and the government comes out in the newspaper and says, no, we were just doing these hot air balloons, or we were doing these dummies, and people just, accepted. The government told them everything is okay, no big deal. Then you come along in the early 90s, and all of a sudden, UFO stuff started getting really, really popular, and all these people out there trying to check out, UFOs and extraterrestrials and everything. And guess what? It's coming along the 50th anniversary of the Roswell Incident. So now all of a sudden people start thinking, oh man, there's all kinds of money. So the first thing that happens, well, of course it happened back in 47, the story goes anyway, that there was this mortician that worked at a funeral home in Roswell, and the Army came to him and said they needed a whole bunch of airtight caskets to fit infants, little baby type people, small little critters, because that's what they were going to put these alien dudes in, right? So anyway, so he's a mortician, and then next thing you know, he becomes the owner of this funeral home, and he goes in cahoots with this UFO, this museum place they have in Roswell, and he becomes a co-owner. And again, now we're looking in the 90s and stuff, and all of a sudden they're looking at the 50th anniversary, and we might be able to make some money off of this. And so now all of a sudden there's this other ranch. It's called the Corn Ranch, and they bought it in like 1976, and even the people who sold it, they even filmed affidavits that said, no, there was never no Army people on our ranch, or there was no UFOs or nothing like that. That didn't matter. Supposedly this Corn Ranch site, early 90s, somebody, hey, did you know that's where the aliens crashed? And they're like, oh, really? Yeah, did you know the 50th anniversary is coming up? So next thing you know, they spend a whole bunch of money, and I've been to all three of these supposedly crash sites, right? Because there's one real one that we're headed to, and I don't want to say it's a real one. It was a Roswell Incident. Something happened, that's where the military went to, okay? I'm not saying that anything crashed or anything like that, or, aliens or anything like that. So anyway, these other people, this Corn Ranch, they make it a big Hollywood production, and they put stones and all this stuff, and they just made this huge commercial version of it. And guess what? The 50th anniversary, you could pay some money and go out to, wait a minute, it's on private land. Because the UFO incident happened on BLM land, right? So also another thing that happens in the 90s is there's another person. Okay, so the Corn Ranch, I know I'm bouncing back and forth. I got so much info I'm trying to give you the highlights, But I'd done a lot of research when I first moved here. I went to the museum and said, hey, where's the crash site? And they're like, which one? I'm like, what do you mean, which one? Isn't there only one? So I had to start researching this on my own. So I did all this research, and one of the biggest one, I think it was called Truth Seekers, okay? And they were just pretty much telling you fact stuff. They weren't saying anything about aliens. They were just telling you the facts and stuff. So anyway, so you got the Corn Ranch, right? And that's in the early 90s, getting ready for the 1997, getting ready for the 50th anniversary. Then, all of a sudden in the mid-90s, we have another one. It's called the Ragsdale site. It was this guy, he was supposedly up in National Forest. Him and his girlfriend out there buck naked in the back of their truck, and they see this crash, right? And it almost hits them. So now he's involved in this. And like I said, this stuff gets real convoluted. It gets so convoluted that this guy Ragsdale, right, he's making a DVD of it, but he's on his, and he gave depositions, and they contradicted each other. So he was already disclaimed that it went out there. But anyway, the mortician guy that now owns that funeral home, he's trying to hook up with the Corn Ranch site who put all that money and say, hey man, it's only 20 minutes out of town. We can bust people there and we can make a mint. And they got into some kind of argument that didn't happen. So he hooked up with the Ragsdale guy, and so really can't do a lot there because that's about an hour and a half away from town, and it's a national forest, so we can't control that either. So anyway, this Ragsdale guy, he's on his deathbed, and he basically says, no, it didn't happen. It all happened on the Corn Ranch, because he made an agreement with the people at the Corn Ranch that I'm getting ready to die, and they're releasing a DVD video. So if I say it was on your ranch, it's going to give you more business, and you're going to give my family 25% of the DVD sales. So I think that's enough detail on the three different crash sites, if you will. Like I said, there's only one, and it was called the UFO Incident, and that's the one we're heading to now. Like I said, that's where something happened. Something came on the ground, left a whole bunch of debris, and the Army came out. They tried to cover up whatever it was, you know, maybe it was aliens, who knows, but it was something that came up. But when I did all that research, I found, and it took like 2 weeks of constant digging. Even the people that live here, they hardly even know about this place, just because it was kind of quiet to the Roswell people until the 90s when it became popular. And now, of course, that's kind of what's keeping Roswell in business, is the tourism that's happening in Roswell is come in here and see this museum, right? And like I said, I've seen the other two crash sites, and if you guys are interested in that, especially the one that went commercial Hollywood, they spent all this money, let me know, and we'll bring you to those two, and we'll show them to you so you can actually say you've seen all three. But the one that we're heading to, that is the one that something happened to. So I hope that, I know it's a really convoluted story, and there's a lot more details involved in this, but if I was to go through this, it could take a very long time to do. And if you're interested in these videos, you probably have already done a bunch of your own research anyway, so I'm probably just preaching to the choir, or maybe I'm telling you some stuff that you actually didn't know about. But anyway, I hope that I kind of clarified why we're going to this debris site, which is where something happened. And once we get up a little bit closer, we'll get back with you. Well, just got off the dirt road. Now we're kind of in a, what do they call these, a two-track. We went around to the original way we used to go in, that we went in before, and it was all locked up and stuff. And again, this crash site is on BLM land, and it is illegal to block it, but there is another go around another side, the north side of the crash site, and there is no gate and stuff. So as long as there is access to BLM land, that is legal what they did. So we're gonna, it's a little bit longer this way, and right now it's 29 degrees, so hopefully it'll stay nice and cold in this ground because of this snow. As you can see, it starts to melt. We're gonna start bogging down, even though we are running 4-wheel drive today. So that's kind of good, but of course that mud gets We went through some already. Nothing major, but if it warms up, it could be. So having to come through a different area to get to the site adds about, normally it was like 1.2 miles on a road, very similar to this. But since we have to come in from the north side, it's adding another mile. So we're looking, I'm going to say, about 2.5 miles on this. To get there. So I'm going to hand this to you. I need 2 wheels, 2 hands on the wheel. And just go ahead and film her out there.
I'm trying to hold it steady.
Yeah. I don't see any evidence of, well, there's some tracks there, but looks like they were pre-snow days, because we were driving through some snow a little bit earlier and there was no tracks in it. I'm not saying somebody couldn't have walked in, but I don't see anything relatively recent here. And so far it's not too bad. Just at the beginning we had to, oh wait a minute, what do we got here? Okay, if we go straight, I think that's going to bring us to that gate that we came to that was already locked up. So actually, I think we need to go left. I think I am correct on this. Yes, this looks familiar. Yes, we're going to go up here and to the right. And it's going to be up, oh boy. Okay. Alright, well, let's get a little bit further on down there. Kim's having problems holding on the camera. So let's get on a little bit further on down and we'll get back with you. Yeah. Not too bad of a 2-tracker. Not too bad. Luckily we haven't, so far we haven't had to go through any of those snow drifts there. That would probably, well, of course this terrain usually, since everything's frozen, we could probably get around it. Like I said, we could just throw it in 4-wheel drive and get around it. Now obviously we couldn't get around that, but we could drive around over here. So I don't think we're going to have an issue getting there. We should be okay, even if we are kind of snowbound a little bit. This terrain is enough. If we just go slow enough, we can get around it. So we would be okay. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely a little bit longer coming in the northern area, but at least we're still able to get there. Hopefully the place hasn't changed that much since we've been last. But I remember telling you when we did the video, if you watched the video when we did the UFO festival, I said that we're going to get out here and film this for you and give you the coordinates. And we haven't been out, you know, that was last July. And it's been a while, and we've been getting lots of emails asking when we're going to do it. So, well, here it is. Eventually, we'll get it posted to you. All right, let's continue on down the road some more. Catch up with you then. Well, looks like we're coming up to it, but something looks kind of weird here. Like I said, we've been here, last time we were here was 2017, and yeah. Something is really goofy going on here. There was a whole, if you watch the Trinity site that we saw, the Trinity, the ground zero, right there where those rocks are, that was one of those big pyramids. And they also had a plaque out here. Okay, so let's get out and investigate this. All right, let's see what the hell's going on here. This is really strange. Oh my gosh. This place has just been vandalized. Okay, right here, somebody stole it. There was a big placard, a marker right here that explained, I believe it was a Sci-Fi Channel came here, and there's a debris field going off in that direction, because the point of impact is supposed to be basically where we're standing here. I'll do a wide out view here in a minute. And the debris impact was going that way. Excuse me. So when they got done digging and excavating, I think they were here like a couple weeks, they put this plaque there. Somebody stole the friggin' plaque. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I was here, like I said, we were here before, and I got pictures of this. So here, I'm going to insert that placard here from, I believe, like I said, I think it was a Sci-Fi Channel. I'm going to insert that picture here so you can read it. So insert it here now. Then we come over here, and this thing is totally thrashed. This was a whole monument type deal. And it's all, look at it, here's even a friggin' water bottle. And it is friggin', oh, and somebody's garbage. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert that picture in here of what this used to look like. Okay, now do you see how it was before when it wasn't thrashed? I guess trailer trash people breed trailer trash people. This is unfucking believable. Oh, here's somebody's hat. Oh, look, there's a Lone Star beer can. Oh my gosh. You bunch of pigs. See what happened? Well, I could go into all the details of how this got popularized. 2022 was the real heavy duty one. When it really got popularized, I'm just doing a scan around here. So where we are standing is where the ship is supposed to hit. Okay, and then the debris, we crashed here and then it all flew that way. This is the one where, this is they call this the Corona debris site or debris field. And this is the actual one where something happened. This is where the military came out to. This is where stuff was found. And it is on BLM land. Then you had those other two that I was talking about on the way here. I was talking about the Corn Ranch and the Ragsdale site. Okay, so what they had to do is, this was the original one, right? But this one here is on BLM land, and nobody's going to profit off of that. It's a long story. I told you most of it on the way up here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to show you how they actually justified, because there's no doubt something happened here at the Corona site. That's undisputable. Something did happen here. I'm not saying aliens crashed or anything, but something happened here. The military came out, the army came out, and all this. Okay, that's undisputed fact. So the people that were doing this Ragsdale site and were doing the Corn Ranch site, they had to justify of how this place still existed, but their crash sites come into play. So what they did is, I got a little picture here. I'm gonna try to put it on the ground, and I'm gonna orientate it the way that we are sitting. Okay, or standing. Let me put a rock on here to hold this thing. Okay, so we are here at the debris site. Okay, and they're saying that the spaceship came in here, crashed, and the debris flew all over the place. Well, here we have the impact site of, right here, this is the Corn Ranch, and here is the Ragsdale. Okay, this here is right up here on that mountain back there that's called Boy Scout Mountain. Okay, so that's a national forest that's over there. Okay, so this one was the first one that said, hey, we have something here. Again, we're getting ready for that 50-year anniversary, 1997, and we're going to make some money off of this shit. So here's the original one, and we are on BLM land, right? So these people are saying what happened was the spaceship came in here, bounced off the ground, and crashed here, and this is where we found the bodies. Okay, so that justified why we got two. The one that we know something happened, and now the one that they make money on. But then again, a few years later, Ragsdale come out, because he's trying to get in on some money, but he's over here at National Forest. So now they're saying it came in from this way, hit the ground, broke into two. And that's how we justify all three of those. So it's all nothing but a money-making game, except where we're at now. There's no money to be made here, except in 2022 when we hit the 75th anniversary, because this one here is not that known, okay? It's a couple hours from Roswell, a couple hours from town. And there's nothing, as you can see, there's nothing out here whatsoever. And there's no way to make money out here. So 2022, all of a sudden they said, hey, we're going to open up the original UFO crash site. Since 1947, we're going to open it up to the public. First off, by the way, this has always been open to the public because we are on BLM land. But people don't know this, okay? They don't know that. So these people, you know, like I said, we're a couple hours from town, from Roswell. They were pumping people up here, not here, but at the beginning of this road, when we turned onto it, on buses for like $155 a piece. They would actually drive you all the way here in like a Suburban. If you drove like in a Greyhound bus, they charge you like $85, okay? So, who made the money? This is BLM land. They didn't have to pay BLM land anything. Just the people who own the land that you have a lawful right to go through? No. How about just set something up with some vehicles and saying it's never been open to the public before? Hence, now we have all this vandalism crap right here. Yep. But like I said, I inserted those pictures in here so you can see them, what this place used to look like. But it was all over there is where, when they came here, it just, I think it was like I believe it was like 100, 200 yards just of debris just going that way. Now, of course, you can debate what the debris is. I'm just saying that all that stuff is factual. What it is, where it came from, all that, that's up to you if you believe that stuff or not. But this is the Corona debris field. And we're going to walk around here a little bit, and we'll get back with you in just a little while. All right. Just seen a lot more garbage out here. That's pretty much all I'm finding. How disgusting. And you know, it ain't just New Mexico. It ain't just the United States. It's friggin' worldwide. We watch a lot of YouTube videos. You know, there are people up in Canada go hiking and stuff, out in the middle of nowhere, and they come across garbage. There are losers everywhere. Anyway, so this is the crash site. I'm sorry, it's actually not a crash site. This was actually called the Roswell Incident.
But this is where it all took place. And we'll just walk over here. So anyway, it was about, I think it was 2.68 miles coming in from the north side because we had to come in a different road. So it was like, what did I say? 2.6, yeah, 2.6. And it wasn't bad. It helped that the ground is frozen right now. Because we did have a couple places through the snow, busted through the ice, but no big deal. Never actually even hit four-wheel drive, so nothing rugged or anything, but we just, it just took us a little bit longer to, because we went to the south, if you want to call it the south gate, the one that we knew about, and I'd done some Google research and had seen that there was another way to get here, so good thing I had backed that one up a little bit. So as soon as we got that south gate, we went, oh, that ain't gonna work. I'm like, I got a plan B. Anyway, this is the UFO Crash Site / Roswell Incident. Hope you enjoyed this adventure, especially with me going off on my soapbox again like I usually do. And hope you'll stay around for the next adventure. Until then, say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Yeah, that's all, folks.